And
This
lastly, we got the beard. Uh,
he is the system.
so yeah, he is a system, right? That reminded me of when Jay-Z on the Diamonds remix with Kanye, he said, "I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman."
That's
It's
right.
like, dude, were you listening to that song before you said that in that press conference? James Harden, talk about delusional. James Harden
Yeah.
is clearly someone who suffers from delusions of grandeur. But for anyone who doesn't know what's going on with James Harden, he forced his way out of a team for the third or fourth time. Playing for the Clippers now. They actually play the Denver Nuggets today, November 14th, but they are thus far 0-4 since trading for James Harden, and they look like a mess on the court. And recently, before the Clippers played the Dallas Mavericks, the one of the Bally Sports commentators for the Mavericks went off on James Harden to the point where this thing went viral. So this guy's name is Brian Dameris. Brian Dameris. He does he's I think he's like a studio analyst for Bally Sports Dallas. Bally Sports is the local affiliate that broadcasts all the NBA games in your area. So if you live in Dallas, you're watching home Dallas Mavericks, you're watching any Dallas Mavericks game that's not nationally televised on Bally Sports. And this guy is an analyst for the Bally Sports, and he just kind of ethered James Harden with this take here. So
Boy.
we'll go ahead and play what Mr. Dameris had to say about James Harden. This was before they played the Dallas Mavericks last week. And this clip went viral because people were just like, damn, this dude flamed James Harden. So check this out. This is pretty good stuff.
Ask the producer to pipe this into the Clippers locker room so I can talk to you, James. I hope you're taking notes. I'm telling you in advance, you're welcome for the wisdom I'm about to spew. Because listen, I get on my knees every night and pray for someone to believe in me like Daryl Morey believed in you. You wanted a certain coach, they brought in Mike D'Antoni. You want to play a certain style, they played it. You wanted Dwight Howard, they brought him in and got rid of him when you were tired of him. You wanted Chris Paul, they brought him in and got rid of him when you were tired of him. They brought in your old friend Russell Westbrook. You want to go to Vegas on off days? They looked away. You wanted the team to stay over so you could go out at night. They changed the schedule, and it didn't work. And you know what? You said, I'm going to break up with my whoopee. Not good enough. I see the bright lights in New York. I want to go there. My old pal, Kevin Durant. It's going to work. The big three. And all after 1 year, you wanted out. You realized, oh, my gosh, I took this guy for granted, the guy that believed in me. I went back with Daryl Morey. They traded Ben Simmons for you. How did they pull that off? And you know what? You went there, and you got a partner who got the MVP. He won the MVP. And what did you say afterwards? You said, they didn't hand me the reins. You're the point guard. You were holding the reins. And what did you do when you had the reins? You scored 9 points in Game 7 against Boston. You blew a 3-2 series lead. So they fired their coach. Not good enough. You broke up with the guy believing in you again. You said, the bright lights of L.A., that's where I want to go. Let's see if that works. Listen, James, have you ever had those friends who had bad roommates? Over and over, they complained about their bad roommates. This guy's terrible. Bad roommate. Being self-aware enough that they're the bad roommate. They're the problem. Hey, James, you're the problem. If this doesn't work this year in this system with this team, then you're going to go and point fingers at everybody else, and you're going to go back home and you're going to start swiping right for another team, and there's not going to be anybody left. Because, James, you're not the beard. You're not the system. You're the problem.
Oh, and the mic dropped.
And he put the mic down. Put the mic down.
If there's ever a situation for a mic drop, that was one of them. So I don't really blame.
Oh man, that was great. Yeah, I completely agree with this guy, Mr. Brian Dameris. Totally on board here. I am very happy that the Miami Heat were not someone who was trying to get this guy onto their team, because he is a team killer, a franchise killer, chemistry killer, locker room killer. He is everything that you don't want on your team if your aspirations are to win championships. If you want to get a guy into the building who's going to dribble, step back three, and drop, empty calorie, meaningless triple double stats, then he's your guy. You want people to walk through the turnstiles, you want to increase the ticket purchases, get people more interested, That's what James Harden is going to give you. Winning in championships, he does not affect any of those things. The closest that he came to winning at the highest level is when he was a reserve for the Oklahoma City Thunder back when he was on his rookie deal. They went to the finals playing with Westbrook and Durant. As close as he ever got. Since then, it has been a lot of points and stats. One joke of an MVP because the way that they give that award out is weird and silly and stupid. What Russell Westbrook has a league MVP. So, I mean, neither one of those guys have ever at any point been the best player in the league, let alone the best player on a team that can contend. So the way they give that thing out is goofy to me. Don't put any stock into who wins MVP. I could care less who wins any of those trophies. They mean nothing for the most part. So, yeah, he is someone who equates to losing. He's been that way his entire career, and I don't give a damn. You know, his game has always been gimmicky to me. You know, you driving into the basket. You're not even trying to score the ball. You're just bulldozing your way into contact to get the free throws. You're taking your step back threes on purpose, falling on people's feet to get the foul calls. You know, just the way he plays, the way his game is set up. He's one of those players who, if you're not smart and you don't actually watch the game and you read the box score, you would say, well, it ain't his fault. Look at his numbers. He's doing well. He's the best player. Other guys got to step up. But if you actually watch the game, you see he's not actually making plays. He's just getting numbers.
Yep.
The way, you know, and I hear this a lot on credible places in the media talking about how he's the point guard and he gets assists. One of the things that bothers me about the way that basketball is commentated these days is you have a lot of people who are lazy in the media who conflate assists with playmaking.
Right.
So if you get double-digit assists, it must mean that you're making plays and making people better. No, it doesn't. It just means you're getting assists. Okay.
Right.
Because if the ball is swung to me and we're moving the defense, and this is just one example of how this happens. So say somebody drives to the basket, the defense collapses. He kicks the ball out to the corner. The defense moves into the guy in the corner. So you swing the ball to the guy on the elbow. Elbow swings it to the guy in the middle. Middle swings it to the guy in the other corner. Guy in the corner is open enough to shoot the three. He makes the shot. Guy who passed the ball to the guy in the corner is going to get a recorded assist. To me, that wasn't a play that was made. You just pass it to the open guy who made the shot.
Right.
So you getting 12, 13 assists to me doesn't mean that you make plays. It just means you have the ball in your hands the entire damn shot clock, and you're the only one who's passing the ball to anybody who can score, being the recipient of any of your passes. So the guy doesn't affect winning. He never has affected winning. The Clippers are done. They're not going to win the championship, and it would be a sheer stroke of irony to have both Paul George and Kawhi Leonard be healthy enough to be ready and available for the playoffs, and they still don't win because they have this ridiculous mashup of a roster being trotted out there that is completely devoid of chemistry and has completely zero chances to win. And that's what you got with James Harden on your team. They're starting Harden with Westbrook at the same time, which to me does not make any sense. And then you got George and Kawhi who are fine, but this idea that James Harden is a point guard is literally the type of mindset that puts the kibosh on your chances to win a championship. Put him on the bench and take him and move him to the bench. If you want any chance to win with this guy on your team, move him to the bench and have him come off the bench as a reserve in the 2-guard spot, not as the guy who orchestrates offense. If you put him in the spot of the 1 or anybody who's responsible for getting guys in spots and orchestrating an offense, you're going to lose every time. I don't know when these GMs are going to learn their lesson. This guy does not affect winning. He affects losing.
I mean, I don't understand these guys that don't want to come off the bench. I don't get it. But James Harden is not going to want to come off the bench, bro. Like, for a guy that's running around and saying that I am the system, he like you said, it's just delusion, bro. He's not going to want to be a team player. James needs to be a stand in the corner 3-point shooter, catch and shoot, similar to Duncan Robinson. Like, he's ineffective defensively. He doesn't care defensively. It's not like he ever was really good at defense, but
He
he
never
really
was.
doesn't. But he really doesn't play now. So he's just out there, and he's a defensive liability. Games in the clutch, he's going to be looking to take his shot more than to stop the best player on the other side. So he's best for, like as you mentioned, off the bench, spark, shoot some threes. All right, bro, go sit down and go to the booty club later. But he still wants to play 30 minutes. He still wants, up to 30% usage. He still wants to pound the rock and then pass it to somebody in a corner. He still wants to get his Olay fouls where he's just swooping up under somebody's arms. I mean, and as you mentioned, bro, even at the height of him dropping 30 a game, bro, he was getting like 15 of them at the line. I mean, his amount of times of getting to the foul line during those stretches was ridiculous. So he was getting like half of his production from free throws. So it wasn't like he was being hella efficient and just, whatever. I mean, he had the referees in his back pocket. And then come playoff time, the referees generally swallow their whistle, and then he's doing more crying than playing basketball. And then from there, I was like, you know what? I can't even enjoy watching. I mean, if he dropped 40, this is the ugliest 40 I've ever seen. So I wasn't a fan of his game, even at the height of it. As you mentioned, bro, I felt like it was hella gimmicky. But yeah, this roster is disgusting. I don't get it at all. Free Bones Highland, he's honestly better than Russ, and he's better than James Harden right now. He should be in the starting lineup, but he doesn't. He only plays 20 minutes a game. I don't know what they're doing. They're gonna, like as you said, because when we spoke about the Clippers before, you was like, man, I don't even know if they're gonna be healthy. But let's say if they are healthy now, they've just ordered.
They nuked themselves.
Yeah, they've ordered the worst package they could have gotten. Like, this guy is just going to. I mean, for him to even say that I'm the system still. And I don't care what they have to say. Hey, man, we want to let him work. Get his. They don't work. All this friend basketball is stupid. It's not going to make sense. So just like with Bradley Beal and with Phoenix, I'm trying to watch Bradley Beal go to work. Him going to work means KD can't work. So for them to say, hey, man, just get your shot. That's not how it works. The only reason Bradley Beal was able to get his shot is because he had 4 other incompetent people on his team when it came to scoring. So now if he has 2 other elite scorers on his team, how can he actually cook the way he's used to cooking? So these guys still have to develop a system, even though these guys are elite scorers and all this other stuff. So that's why they're 0-4, at least to begin with, because they're still trying to let him cook the way he wants. Paul George is trying to cook how he wants. Russ is trying to cook how he wants. Kawhi is just there for the ride. So with all of that stuff going on, it's not going to be a pretty picture. I actually was low-key cheering for the Clippers before this trade. Now it's just like, bro, you can't cheer for this. You guys just ordered a death wish. So, yeah, man, shout out to Mr. Brian here. He said what all of America was feeling. Everybody that's watched basketball and got a dose of James Harden over the last 5 seasons have grown tired of him. And honestly, if James Harden didn't play this year, I wouldn't miss him. And I rarely say that about black basketball players. But what comes with his not only drama is bad basketball. So if you're bad and that's not to take away from his talent. Dude's talented. He just plays bad basketball, and he seems to be a bit of a diva and an asshole off the court. So it's hard to enjoy that. It's hard to cheer for that. So for this guy to drop Mike on him, I second that. And yeah, I dropped mines on this guy. But free Bones, man, best guy on the team, honestly.
Well, what they're doing, it doesn't work in part because the Clippers clearly are buying into this, but the Clippers are buying into it because everyone has seemingly bought into this idea that he's a one, that he's a point guard who orchestrates offenses and gets people in the spots. No, he's a get bucket guy. Just because he can dribble and shoot doesn't mean that he's. I don't know where this thing came from. I don't know where this idea that he's a point guard came from, but clearly they believe it, and it will nuke them. He needs to be someone who plays off the ball and just shoots open shots. His game needs to transition the way Carmelo Anthony's did.
Yeah.
Because that when Carmelo Anthony decided, okay, at this point, I just need to shoot open jumpers. I'm no longer what I think I am. It prolonged his career another few years. And so that's what he needs to do. He's not a point guard. And at this point, to me, if it's a championship roster,
He's coming off the bench.
it has to be, for me. That's how I feel about him. He has to be a reserve. He's not somebody that I'm just going to insert into a starting lineup, let alone you're going to be playing the one. This is stupid. James Harden to me is the epitome of the empty calorie stat. He reminds me of Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins. I lost count of the amount of times that I would look at a box score from Kirk Cousins and see 350 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, but then lost the game. Like, I lost count of how many times I saw that with Kirk Cousins. How do you have these numbers, but you're always losing the games? And then I'll watch the game, and it's because, oh, y'all been getting y'all ass whooped, and you've been trashed the whole game. So the defense has let their foot off the gas and basically letting y'all do what y'all want to do. So now in the fourth quarter, you're putting up these numbers and padding your stats when y'all lost the game 20 minutes ago.
Right.
That's Kirk Cousins. Like, Kirk Cousins is good, and that's it. He's not great. He's not elite. He's just good.
Right.
He is going to give you a stat line. If you start him in fantasy football, you might win because he's serviceable as a fantasy football quarterback, but he is a losing quarterback overall. He loses games. How many playoff games he lost on how many different teams? It is what it is. James Harden is the same way. You'll see 33 points, 14 assists, 7 rebounds. Oh my gosh, look at the stat line. Well, I watched the game. He was horrible. He was trash. He was terrible. I don't care about numbers. They barely play defense in the league now as it is, so the numbers are inflated. It's like, I don't know, bro. It's like quarterbacks in the NFL now. Well, maybe not this year because the numbers across the board are down, but they've adjusted the rules so much so that, quarterbacks getting 400 yards and 3 touchdowns and no picks. It happens now. But does that mean that they're really good like that? Watch the game. Like, I watched the game with this guy. I'm tired of this dude. Like, I've said this about LeBron, and I'm kind of joking halfway when I say it about LeBron. But with him, I'm serious. If he retired, I'd be like, good riddance.
No, seriously.
He represents everything that is. Anyone who wants to criticize the NBA, James Harden and people like Ben Simmons and James Harden give you ammunition. They do. If you wanted to talk about how trash the NBA is, and I was going to defend against that, and you brought up James Harden, I'd have no defense. I'd honestly have no defense. I cannot say anything if you're using James Harden as reasons for why the NBA has deteriorated. I can't say anything because he represents everything that's wrong with that league.
Yep.
Everything.
Yep.
And then on top of that, he doesn't even put the work in the offseason. He's not in the gym. He's not doing strength training. He just shows up and decides that he wants to hoop and then makes all these demands and then wants to demand trades. Like, I'm done. He needs to go away. I'm not rooting. I'm not. Yeah. The Clippers to me were intriguing because I feel like roster wise and in terms of the coach, if everyone stays healthy, they got a real decent shot. But I feel like they nuked themselves by trading for him. Who knows how much this stymies the growth of Terrence Mann? Because I think at this point, Terrence Mann contributes more to winning way more than James Harden. And what are you going to do now? You're going to bring Terrence Mann off the bench for James Harden? To me, I think that's silly, but they'll probably do it because they still look at this guy as a superstar for whatever reason, and they're going to lose because of it.
Yeah, and that was well said, is that he does embody everything that everybody hates about the NBA right now, from his game to his off the court behavior. It's all of it. So it's hard to cheer for that. Because once all the dust settles on this generation and people start looking back, he he was he's the pioneer for this jumping around diva, I'm calling shots, BS stuff. Like, it's just too much. Like, LeBron was doing it too, but not to this extent. I mean, James Harden really took it overboard. And like how this dude was saying, for the team even changing their schedule just so you can stay in from crashing last night. Like, that's wild in itself that they even did that crap. Yeah. So yeah, man. I'm sorry, Clippers Nation. I was really rooting for Russ this year for like a comeback season, but it's hard for them to do all of that with this guy on roster. So good luck to them. But I don't really see much going down for them. Maybe he turns into playoff Harden.
No, and what is that? 6 points in the fourth quarter, like Buddy said. You're gonna lose if it's play. What is playoff Harden? It's losses. all them years going to the playoffs with the Rockets. You got Chris Paul, you got Russell Westbrook. Y'all still lost. You in Brooklyn, you quit on them. You go to Philly, y'all still losing. He's a losing playoff performer, and I don't know how you can argue against that. So that is playoff Harden is losing basketball.
Sorry, Clippers Nation.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The irony in this is going to be if Kawhi Leonard and Paul George stay healthy the whole year.
Yeah,
that is going to be so ironic if this is the year that they both stay healthy the whole time, and then this is what kills them anyway. That franchise is just cursed as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Ballmer, man, I would fire the GM. If they crash and burn the way I suspect they will, because why would you trade for this guy? That's crazy. I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole.
Yep, same. Good job, Heat, not grabbing that, not taking the bait on that crap.
Yeah, please no. And Miami is the worst place for James Harden to be. The worst. If you thought if you thought he was going out too much in Houston, what you think gonna happen down here?
Exactly.
Get out of here. Oh man. All right, man. That's it. We're done.
Yeah, we're done.
Shouts out to everybody who joined us on the stream. Appreciate you for tuning in to another edition of the Constant Approach channel on YouTube. I'm JV Wins. That's Dogon S. JV Wins on Instagram at JVWINS. Conscious Approach on Instagram at Con Approach, CONAPPROACH. Check out the website, consciousapproach.com. Check out the Facebook page. Wherever you see this video or any other video that we publish underneath this moniker, go ahead and leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Like I said, if you're so inclined, hit that like and subscribe button. We certainly appreciate the support. And until next time, please continue to support our brand of logical content.
Yeah. And the name is Dogon SS. And you can find me on Instagram at Dogon_SS and on YouTube at Dogon_SS. Also on DraftKings at Dogon_SS and TikTok at the same thing. Y'all already know what time it is. And as I say on every pod, everybody, all right, don't be too high, don't be too low. Keep it calm, keep it chill, keep it player, and don't let anybody get you off your pivot. So until the next time, everybody, we'll catch y'all on the flip side.
Yeah. Shouts out to Jaime Jaquez Jr. the best Miami Heat draft choice in about 3 or 4 years. That boy out there.
Shout out Jovic or whatever. He can ball too, but Jaime is ready now.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I like that pick.
Yeah. Until next time, y'all. Certainly appreciate the support. We'll see you later. We're out. Peace.
Go Canes. Skr for life. Forget FSU, man. I don't care about that.
Oh, man.